Okay, so part two. Obviously, if you didn't see part one, go and check that out. This is actually going to be a three-part series now, by the way, because I realised that I can't cram it all into this one. It'd be just too long. So it's going to be a three-part series. This is part two. So, part two, water retention. Basically, when we diet, it is a stress on our body. So cortisol rises, stress hormones rise, specifically cortisol. And when cortisol is high, we store water, we retain water, okay? So how does this relate to your weight loss journey? Well, put it this way, you lose 2 pounds of fat, but you retain 2 pounds of water. Scale doesn't move, okay? Let's say in a month, you could lose 8 pounds of fat. But if you're holding on to 10 pounds of water, not only will the scale not move in the way that you want it to, it goes the opposite way. So you look at it and you think, I suck, what am I doing wrong? I thought I was doing everything right. And you think that you're doing something wrong, when actually you're doing amazing. You just can't see it, okay? Now, how do you get around this? A couple of ways. You could diet as high as possible. So I tend to tell people most of the time to diet on as many calories as possible. For a few reasons, mainly because when people diet, they just go crazy low. So adherence goes out the window. So dieting as high as possible is great for adherence because you get to eat more food, which is obviously a good thing. But also you tend to get less of this adaptation. So you get less of the adaptation that we talked about in part one, and you get less of this cortisol spike. So you could technically retain less. You still will, you can't get round these things, but it may be less, okay? There always will be some adaptation and some cortisol and some water retention, okay? But it could be less. And the second way is diet breaks. And I've talked about these before. I've done a few videos on what they are and how to implement them. So search them, so I won't go into detail tonight. But basically, it tends to be about 1 to 4 weeks where you eat more calories. So you maintain your weight. And because you're eating more calories, it resets all the adaptations that we talked about in part one. Your cortisol goes back to normal, so you basically drop this water weight, okay? Now, people, will lose, they could lose 6-10 pounds. Now, did you lose 6-10 pounds of fat over that time? No. People can do it in a week or two. You obviously didn't. It was just water weight. And people will say, well, it was only water. Yeah, but it now revealed the fat loss that you didn't think was there. Okay, so you thought you weren't losing fat, you dropped this water, and now you can see the fat loss that was there all the time, but it was just hiding behind the water retention, okay? You can use those methods. Simplest method is by far and away to chuck your scale out of the window, preferably from at least 1 floor above ground level, okay? And while that may seem like a bit of a joke, it's also, well, it is a bit of a joke, but it's also a serious suggestion, okay? Yes, the scale can be useful, but it's also misleading, especially in these instances where we're dieting, we hit plateaus. And you could argue that a lot of people anyway could do with some time away from the scale, okay? Because what you need to remember more than anything is that just because weight loss isn't happening doesn't mean that fat loss isn't happening, okay? Weight loss can fluctuate for so many reasons on a daily basis. I mean, you can weigh 5-6 pounds heavier in the morning than when you go to bed. Did you gain 6 pounds of fat in that day? No, unless you ate over 20,000 calories. Which even I probably couldn't do, and that's saying something. So it can fluctuate for a lot of reasons. But if you're eating less calories than you are burning, you're losing fat, whether or not you're losing weight. Now, obviously, you need to make sure that you're burning more than you're eating, which we'll talk about a bit in the next video. But you almost just have to trust the process, which I know is difficult, but you just have to trust the process. Okay, and just keep plugging away. Because like I say, just because you're not losing weight does not mean you're not losing fat. And as I always stress, if aesthetics are your goal, i.e. you want to look more toned, more defined, curvier, etc., fat loss is your goal, not weight loss. You can lose very little to no weight and lose a lot of fat and totally transform your appearance, okay? So, bit of another technical one, but it does occur. I think that sort of part one, obviously that occurs. It will not occur to the point where it will totally wipe out your fat loss, but it does make a difference. This reason, so the water retention again does make a difference. You will retain water, which can hide fat loss. However, whilst it is a combination of part one and part two, I think part three is the kicker, okay? So that is going to be the main driving force and also the one that you can change the most. Because part one, you can't really do a lot. Part two, you can do a little, but again, not really a lot. Whereas part three, you can make a big difference, okay? So whilst it is a combination of most, please tune in for part three because that is where you can make the biggest difference, okay? So hopefully you got some value from that, guys. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, and share. I just want to say thank you to everybody for this because literally the engagement on these posts has just gone nuts. Like every time I look at my phone, I've got like 60 Facebook notifications. It's insane. So thank you so much for everybody that is interacting. It's my fuel. I appreciate it so much. And whilst likes, comments, shares probably doesn't seem like a lot to you, it means the world to me. So please do keep doing that. Have a fantastic weekend if you're in the UK. Enjoy your sunny bank holiday weekend for once. And I shall see you on the next video. Thank you.